Modern Warfare's multiplayer has officially been revealed, and there's a lot of new things. And I was actually fortunate enough to go play the game early, get some gameplay, and I can show you guys that gameplay today. And we already looked at all of the weapons that are going to be in the game, but there is so much new. There is so many new features, new game modes, new things in this game, and one of the biggest one is a new create a class system and Gunsmith. And no, Gunsmith is not the same thing that it was in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. It is something completely different, and to me, it is completely mind-blowing. Every weapon in this game is going to have between 30 and 60 attachments that you can put on it and make it its own animal. But Create a class is also different as well. Create a class is no longer going to be the pick 10 system, but something completely different altogether. It kind of mirrors a little bit of Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, but with a little bit of a twist. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how the Create a class system works in Modern Warfare, as well as Gunsmith. So without further ado, let's dive in and check out Create a class. So first of all, they are not called classes, but rather loadouts. And when you go to your loadouts, this is what you're going to see on screen here. So the first thing you're going to notice is that this is not pick 10. You can have much more than 10 items in an individual class. And it's going to kind of consist of 5 different things: a primary weapon, a secondary weapon, 3 perks, a lethal grenade, and a tactical grenade. So this is kind of similar to what we've seen before, but the difference is having a ton of attachments on your weapon doesn't take away from the rest of your class. In fact, on both of your weapons, you're actually able to have 5 attachments on each weapon, and that is done through the Gunsmith. So as you can see there, you have 2 options. Either you can go over and click on Gunsmith or press square and it will take you to Gunsmith. And as you can see, there is a bunch of different areas on your weapons that you can put attachments on. And the crazy part about this is the sheer amount of attachments that there actually are and how they all affect your weapons. Now, another thing you may notice is that this is not just attachments available here. There is also perks available for individual weapons. So what you are seeing here is for the M4, and some of these perks include sleight of hand or a 3-round burst, which basically switches your M4A1 into a 3-round burst, almost like an M16. So in this Gunsmith system, you are allowed to choose up to 5 different attachments, or 4 attachments and 1 perk, that'll change the way your weapon actually performs. And without playing this game, it's kind of hard to understand this, but when you change the attachments and perks like this, the gun literally feels like a completely new weapon. It's really insane what they've done here. And the other cool thing is when you actually go and look at these different attachments in game, it actually tells you exactly what they do. So right here we are looking at the rubber pistol grip, and what it tells us is it's going to increase your aim down sight speed and your sprint out fire speed. So you'll be able to shoot faster and aim faster when using the weapon. However, the cons of using this is that you are going to have worse idle sweat, which in my opinion, this example is a really good trade-off, but not all attachments are. And a great example of that is for the M4A1, the lightweight barrel. So the pros for this one is you aim down sight speed is much faster, so you can aim down sights faster, but the cons is decreased damage range and decreased bullet velocity. So your bullet moves slower and it's going to deal less damage over range, but you were able to aim down sights faster. So in my opinion, that is a really, really bad attachment. So you really got to be careful with the class that you actually build based off of these attachments. And I know I have said it a lot already, but it blows my mind every time I say it. The developers told us that every individual weapon in the game is going to have 30 to 60 attachments just for that weapon. Now, my one worry with this is that it's going to be very hard for them to balance everything properly, but if they do, this is an absolutely incredible system here that they are implementing. And like I said before, because they are doing this, one weapon like the M4 can feel like 6 or 7 different weapons based off of the attachments you're using. If you're using 3-round burst, it's going to feel a little bit more like an M16. On top of that, you can use single fire and make it feel something more like a G3 or something along those lines. And really the big reason why I like this so much is because it's going to add some longevity to the game for me. It's going to give me different classes to try out, different attachments to grind for and actually unlock. And I'm really looking forward to the game actually coming out so I can start playing with these things. This is something that's making me really excited for Modern Warfare. Now, I did talk about this a little bit in this morning's video, but some other examples of this are if you're using the AK-47, you can give it a short barrel and a small stock, and it acts a little bit more like an AK-74U, with less range but more mobility. On top of that, you can attach a round drum, a long barrel, big stock, and it'll work a little bit more like an RPD or an LMG. Another example is the AUG is an SMG in this game. However, you can equip a long barrel, a bigger stock, a bigger magazine, and all of a sudden, it's more like an assault rifle version of the AUG from something like Black Ops 1. And I think that's such a good idea to add more longevity and more depth to the gunplay in Call of Duty, something we haven't seen ever, and this is going to be a first for Call of Duty. And speaking of which, just look at all of these optic attachments available for the M4, one of which is literally a sniper scope. It really, really is mind-blowing. But anyway, let's get back to looking at the rest of Create a Class. So we've looked at the weapon customization and how you are going to be able to have 5 attachments on both your primary and secondary weapon. But on top of that, you can also have 3 perks at the same time. Now, I'm not going to go into too much depth with the perks as I'm going to have a whole separate video talking about this, but as far as a couple concerns that I have with these, as of right now, I don't see a dead silence perk in the list, and on top of that, there's a second perk which I really like called Kill Chain, which actually allows your kill streaks to stack. So say, for example, you get that 5 kill streak, you get the Predator missile, and then that Predator missile kills 4 people, you are now on a 9 kill streak, and if you have a 9 kill streak attached, you then instantly get that because of that perk. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. So on top of having 2 weapons with 5 attachments each, on top of having 3 perks, you also get a piece of lethal and a piece of tactical equipment. These can range from anything from a normal frag grenade to a heartbeat sensor as your tactical. So there's really a lot of options when it comes to Create a Class, and that clearly seems to be the really big thing that they're going for in this game. But that's not it. There's also something else new called field orders. So field orders are not the same thing that they were in Call of Duty Ghost. They're actually basically specialist abilities from Black Ops 4. However, they are really dulled down specialist abilities. The one that I used pretty much the entire game was Stopping Power. No, you didn't hear me wrong. Stopping Power is back, and it's a specialist ability, and it makes it so basically that any weapon you're using takes 1 less bullet to kill. So if you're using a 2-shot sniper rifle like the M14, it actually reduces it down to a 1-shot kill, which is super overpowered, and I would imagine at some point they're going to be nerfing that. Now, I know a lot of people probably aren't going to be happy that these are in the game, but they're way dumbed down compared to Black Ops 4's specialist abilities. There's no like specialist weapons or anything like that, and even the barricade that they have in here is only cover. It doesn't emit microwaves or whatever the hell it does in Black Ops 4. Now, the other cool thing with Create a Class is that you can change your class at any time. And by that, I literally mean any time. So, for example, if you're in-game and you don't like a class setup you have, you can just go in and edit your class, change any of the perks, the weapons, the attachments at any time you'd like. And I really, really like that, especially with all of the attachments, because if you accidentally select a wrong attachment, it can completely change the way that weapon plays. And if you do, all you got to do is in-game go in to change your class at any time. So to me, it's pretty clear what Infinity Ward is going for here with the new Create a Class system. They want you to be able to make the exact weapon and class setup that you want. It is really a lot of freedom, and with that might come some pretty overpowered things, whether that be claymores, whether that be the stopping power, whatever it is, it may be there, but as long as they stay on top of it and really balance this game well, this could be the best Create a Class system we have ever seen. It is definitely the best attachment system we've ever seen. Like I said, they just got to really put in that effort and make sure it's balanced really well. So I want to hear what you guys think. Do you like this new system? Do you hate it? Do you want the pick 10, or is this exactly what you wanted? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Personally, I was shocked with how much depth they put into the attachment system and the gunsmith. I think this is going to be crazy for the game. This is probably the thing in Modern Warfare that I am looking forward to most, aside from maybe playing some more gunfight. But aside from that, I also want to hear down in the comments what you want me to talk about next with Modern Warfare. We got a ton of information while I was there, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask them down in the comments, and hopefully I can address them in a future video. Also, if you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. And if you want to stay up to date on everything Modern Warfare, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you have notifications on. And until next time, guys, peace out.
Listen.